Hello everybody, it's Stephanie Grams of stephaniegrams.com, owner and founder of Keepsake Business Academy. You can find out more information at stephaniegrams.com. This is part of our January 2024 Lunch and Learn series. We are on number 2 today of Quality Matters. So if you are new or even experienced in the keepsake business industry, you may maybe looking for a few tips to make 2024 a better year in your business. If so, reach out, and I hope that you will follow me and share my information with others in our industry. So today's topic is quality matters. And this sometimes can be overlooked as a business owner, whether you're new or even if you're established. Sometimes we may not really keep up on our inventory. Time goes by so quickly, and it can be really easy to just lose track of what you actually own and is it still considered high quality. So I'll give you some examples to kind of fill you in on what I'm talking about. So you need to think about high quality materials so your items can be made better. So scissors for one. Scissors can go dull rather quickly, and in the sewing industry, we know there's different types of scissors. You have pinking shears, which they do get dull and they can be very difficult to sharpen. And then you have your fabric scissors, and then you have your paper scissors. And we in our industry do not mix the two, right? If we have fabric scissors, whether they're literally the fabric straight edge scissors or the pinking shears, you don't ever cut paper with those. So it's not unusual to go into a sewing studio and see different types of scissors, but you also have to think about little snippets and embroidery scissors as well. So are they still high quality? Are they sharp? Are they still doing the job that they were created to do? If not, are you able to save some money and have them professionally sharpened? Or are they just the kind that, they graduate to be an all-purpose type of scissor, and then you replace it with a high-quality fabric scissor? So step one of cutting any fabric, whether it's somebody's favorite clothing or off of a bolt or maybe even a hand-me-down quilt for a keepsake, look at your scissors. Don't neglect them. They do have a purpose, so make sure you keep them labeled and separate, especially if you have other hands in the house that may need a pair of scissors, and so they borrow your good scissors and you don't even know it. So definitely label them, keep them aside. Moving on, for quality matters, you need to think about the type of thread and needles that you're using. Machine needles like sewing machine needles, embroidery machine needles, hand sewing needles, hand embroidery needles, and even if you own a cutting machine, like I have a Brother Design and Cut, those also have blades, not necessarily a needle, but it's still a sharp. So you need to consider all of those items as high quality, and quality does matter. All right, so moving on, we need to talk about polyfill. All stuffing is not created equal. If you go to the big stores, like a local store, they probably have shelves of all different types of fiber fill or polyfill that you can use for stuffing pillows and stuffed animals and so forth. Make sure you get the best quality for the item you're working with. Again, they're not all created equal. So a real dense fiber fill is probably not what you're going to want to use for a memory bear. Just know what your customer wants and how to match that up. Let's see, your sewing machine or embroidery machine. When was the last time you had those serviced, oiled, dusted? Now's a great time. It's January 2024. You may have done a lot of orders November and December, so now's a great time to give your machine a once over. Make sure it's nice and clean and that you have everything in order. Moving on to other tools would be a rotary blade, rotary cutter, and a self-healing mat. I know my self-healing mat I have had for, oh my goodness, about 6 years now, 5 or 6 years. I need a replacement. It's been through the ringer. I have used it for everything, from rotary cutting to, you know, for t-shirt blankets and t-shirt quilts, to the memory bears and other stuffed animals, to even cutting paper for my mixed media art. It has been through it. So now it has graduated into a paint mat for my daughter, who is a pouring paint artist. Works great for her now. So think about what items you have now and how you can graduate those into another spot in your art studio, your sewing space, or even consider donating it to like an art school or a thrift shop. I know that here in Athens, Ohio, there are several places that you can donate your used art supplies, because a lot of times art supplies have an additional life beyond their intended purpose. So think about ways of how you can recycle and repurpose that item. Don't just dump it in the landfill. Storage, consider the type of storage you're using. Are you using, I like to use plastic bins that I can see through, clear plastic bins with snapping lids. A lot of people really don't like those. I don't know why. I guess it's a personal preference, but for me, I can see exactly what the contents are, which saves me a lot of time from having to sift through some of the really pretty decorative bins, but it also protects all of my fabrics, all of my other sewing utensils from dust. You know, dust particles are everywhere. Grease can get in the air. I mean, just weird stuff can get in the air no matter where you live. So it keeps everything airtight, moisture-free, and safe. So I like clear plastic bins with snappable lids. And I'll say by different sizes as well. I have a lot of the shoebox size where I keep all of my little snippets and threads, needles, and so forth. I keep them in there. Okay, next but not last, ironing your iron and your ironing board. I don't know about you. When I iron on interfacing, because I interface all of my memory bears, all of my memory sentimental items, I use interfacing, and it's iron on stabilizers, iron on interfacing. That's glue. It's sticky, and so it gets on my iron no matter how careful I am with covering it up with a separate cloth or pressing mat. I somehow get some stabilizer glue on it. So, you know, once a year I like to upgrade my iron. Again, I don't own the fancy ones. I go to the big box store and I think I pay $20 for it. It's good, it works great. I have a couple of the Cricut brand, but for my all-purpose iron, I buy the not the cheapest, but the next cheapest one, because I know it's going to get wrecked by the end of the year. And then an ironing board, I just always keep my same metal ironing board. I just replace the cover on it because, again, I get stabilizer glue on it. It can be washed and dried, but only so many times, and then after a while it just kind of doesn't come off. So definitely keep an inventory. Again, it's January 2024, so if you're watching this in the future, don't worry, you're not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. And so take inventory today on what you can do to make sure that you have quality materials so you can have a better experience putting your items together. All right, guys, have a great day.